everyone, it's Danielle here with another pick a card reading. We have 3 piles to choose from. Take a breath. Down here we have an amethyst from Australia, right from the Crystal Castle. Very cool. This pile is a rose carved rose quartz. And then over here we have a ruby. So take a deep breath. Let the stones pull you in. Perhaps you feel guided to more than one. Maybe you feel called to just one. But let's begin. This is pile 1. This is pile 2. This is pile 3. Starting with pile number 1. Okay. Pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. So, we're going to move the ruby. Let's see what the energies are for you today. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So, the Chariot reversed. I'm reading everything towards me. So the Chariot reversed speaks of a lack of willpower. The Chariot reversed is saying that your conscious and your subconscious are dueling it out, and they're the ones pulling this ship. The ship is you. And that's interesting because crossing that is the 10 of Cups, and this is a fulfillment card. This is marvelous energy. This is dreams coming true and having everything that you want, the house, the home, the person, emotional fulfillment. So it could be that you're feeling very out of control with allowing this to come through to you. The Chariot always deals with our balance. So we have a conscious world and we have a subconscious world. We have what we know about ourselves, and then we have what we don't know we don't know. So it's important to recognize that when the Chariot comes up reversed, it's really a lot about self-control, having faith in yourself. This is the I am card. I am strong. I am capable. I am willfully choosing the direction that my life is going. So when the Chariot comes up reversed like this, it's saying that I'm not choosing the direction I'm going. Perhaps you're feeling very out of control in your life. There are circumstances beyond your control that are impacting your happiness, your fulfillment. So let's see. This is on your mind, and in this deck we have some non-traditional cards. This is the element. This is the element of earth, as a matter of fact. Earth deals with grounding. It deals with our ability to survive. Earth energy is physical energy. The Pentacles realm deals with earth energy. It's about stability, being able to take care of ourselves and others, nurturing, survival. So this is what's on the mind right now, which makes a lot of sense with like the happy home being disrupted by whatever's going on in your life. Now, in your subconscious, we have here the Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands deals with action, adventure. This is the dashing hero type that charges in, slays the dragons, and, you know, makes the fairy tale come true. So on your subconscious is this desire to slay your dragons, to defeat the troubles that are plaguing you. The Knight of Wands also talks about travel. So it could be that there's someplace you want to go or are going. Maybe you have conflict with this travel, but either way, the choice is yours, which is something that you're struggling with, the fact that the choice is yours. Now, there's power in that, even if it doesn't feel powerful at the time. The Knight of Wands is always here at your disposal. Call upon him when you need assistance in what's happening in your life. So, let's see. In the past, we have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a card of conflicts. The Five of Wands is usually a card that comes up when there's been trouble between friends or family, words that have been hurtful, It's unresolved. That's what we're saying. You're coming from an unresolved conflict and you're going towards, it would appear, this is the Four of Cups. This is a card of apathy. When the Four of Cups comes up, it's saying you're not looking at what's being presented to you. You're focused on what's already done. In this card, you can see there's a man here and he's looking at these 3 cups on this branch. What he doesn't see is that behind him, this tree also has a cup. There's an imprint. There's knowledge for him there. But his focus is on these 3 cups. And they're not bringing him joy. Look at his posture. He's slack. His arms are dragged across his knees. He's hooded. This is a person who is shielding themselves because perhaps they are overly drawn. Too many emotions have been pulled from them. Expectations were too high and they just needed to check out. This is a card of someone who's checked out. They're not feeling joyful. They're not feeling passionate. They're not feeling. So this card is asking you to pay attention. What is drawing on your energy? Why are you allowing it to draw on your energy? Because the Four of Cups is a choice. Remember, he's choosing to look in this direction. And at any point, he can choose to stand up, turn around, stretch. When the Four of Cups comes up, this is a sign you have to shake things up. You've got to move things around. It's too easy to get stuck in this energy. It could be because of guilt. It could be because of things people have said. It's very easy for people to get in our heads. Perhaps you feel the right thing is not to make movements. We all have reasons for why we do what it is that we do. It's time you ask yourself those reasons because, again, this card wants to come in. Your fulfillment is near. So you have to ask yourself, what is it going to take? What is it that I have to choose to allow myself to have that? So over here I have 2 Mermaid Oracle decks. This is going to tell us about the emotional state that we're in. We have vulnerability, open your heart and allow yourself to be tender. And we have divine sensuality, making love in erotica. Okay, this makes a lot more sense when you have this 10 of Cups here. The 10 of Cups is a card of having been vulnerable and therefore able to have it all, including sensuality, because this is a romantic connection that forms the home. It's the people that we choose. So I'm actually going to read the cards to you. Vulnerability, and what do they want you to know? Here we go. And I'll put it here just in case you're interested. Vulnerability, open your heart, allow yourself to be tender. The mermaids sing. This is the quandary of the modern human. As far as we can see it, there is an enormous desire to avoid pain, to avoid anything that leads to emotional distress. And yet, the very thing that allows such a thing to happen is one of your greatest powers. Your vulnerability is beautiful, and we are drawn to it. And yet, so often, you feel foolish and embarrassed for feeling vulnerable. And you do your best to hide your tenderness. You feel as though you will be abused simply because you are open and willing to trust and able to love and be kind. But how attractive and appealing are those most lovely of human qualities? Your divination. We all need and crave a sense of belonging. It is deep and primal. It is at the very core of our survival instincts. For in tribal days, if we were outcast, we were either left as food for the sharks or we became strong and wise in our hermitage. These challenges and hero journeys within are our keys to inner strength and a sense of belonging to the all that is. Once again, fulfillment. And yet, what makes this heroic and what makes this beautiful is that we can be deeply hurt as much by our communication with others as by our distance from them. At this time, you are being asked to open up, display your wounds after a time of building trust, and share the vulnerabilities within. You are strong. You are a survivor, but you are fragile too. Deep, intimate connection can only be created by deeply understanding who we are, what we reject and dislike about ourselves, and bringing home and nurturing back to health that which we have forced away. This can require therapy, counseling, and deep vulnerability. The power of this vulnerability is that you break through into freedom, self-love, and attract others with your open heart. It may return from time to time. It is often a theme in our life. So, you're being called to be vulnerable. And being vulnerable is not easy, because being vulnerable is to reveal exactly that which we hide. That's the complete opposite of how society teaches us. But when we're vulnerable, look at this. He's holding her. We allow someone to come in and offer the support that we all need. We all need it. Babies only survive because we are there to hold them and nurture them. And there's a part of us that is eternally in a baby state. And it's up to us to figure out what it is that we need, remember the Chariot card, to guide our lives into fulfillment. So, now we have divine sensuality, making love, and erotica. Divine sensuality. The mermaids sing, yes. The mermaids are protectors and champions of sexuality and freedom, allure and power. To experience physical bliss is not a purely physical event. There is an intimate connection that connects people who make love, or kiss, or even just shake hands, who touch. And when we exchange this great intimacy with another, there is established between us a strong, energetic connection. So it is wise to consider who we make love with, and when, and where, and very much why. But there is also an undercurrent in our culture that still sees lovemaking, sensuality, and the love of the pleasure of the body, and the celebration and elevation of that pleasure to an art, as something that is laden and twisted with guilt. The tainted sexual beliefs of the medieval era, which led to a hatred of the body, of sexuality, and a demonization of women, are still with us in some ways. Even the sexualization of our bodies undermines our ability to make love, to pleasure ourselves, and to enjoy this great pleasure and joy that has been gifted to us. The mermaid has come to be a symbol of the temptress, the woman who wishes to draw men and lovers to her. And in many ways, she is the symbol of danger. And so it is with our sensuality. If you have drawn this card, it is likely you are ready to explore and dive into your own physical expression of bliss. It may be through making love with a cared for other, achieving greater intimacy in your relationships, or even experiencing blissful sensual moments while receiving a massage or dancing. But this card encourages you to reconnect with the love of your natural physicality and to explore the pleasure your sensuality can bring you, and to begin to understand and untangle any of the lingering cultural or personal guilt you may have about this. There are many beliefs in our culture, many taboos too, that women who enjoy sexual feelings and evoke them in others are impure, courting danger, threatening to themselves and to other women, and dangerous to men. But the truth is, we all have a seductress within us, a mermaid-like being who dwells within our psyche and subconscious, who is able to show us how to pleasure ourselves and others, and how healing this sacred sensuality is and can be. Woo! And that's not the end of it, folks. There's a little bit more here for you. Your divination. It is possible at this time that you are being judged by others for the sexual choices and mates you have chosen or may be about to choose. Please know, it is your birthright to choose freely who you give yourself to and why. The only question is whether this is a sacred and honorable exchange, whether this feels like it is a good choice for you personally. It is time to put aside societal and even cultural and traditional norms and judgments about who we choose and how we choose to enact sensually. There is a boundary being broken through. As long as this is a free choice of your own, and one that brings you wisdom, health, joy, and respect, it is not for others to make this choice. It is yours alone. Break through the fear. Wow! Let's just talk about how those correlate. You're being called to be vulnerable. You are being championed in your divine right to explore your own divine sensuality. It is a very special time in the world that we live right now. We have this right when others who came before us did not. It is your fulfillment that you seek, and it is your fear in making that choice that is blocking that fulfillment. So you are being guided to be vulnerable, to explore your divine sensuality, to travel that course because you have the Knight of Wands on your side, and you will find your divine fulfillment. Your 10 of Cups is waiting for you. So wow, that was a very powerful reading, cards number 1. The ruby is a stone of sacred fire. Rubies have so much meaning, but they are fire, they are passion, and they are also divine loyalty. Divine loyalty to yourself, divine loyalty to exploring your vulnerability, and divine loyalty to creating this beautiful bliss that we all yearned for as humans. So honor yourself today. Ask those tough questions. Allow the answers to be received. And good luck on your journey. So now I'm going to pull final cards. Final cards. Should you take this advice? Where will it take you? If you follow this advice, the Six of Swords is a card of moving on. The Six of Swords is all about leaving behind those fears and those worries that were dragging us down. We remember them. They are still existing, but they are not our burden anymore. You see, she is on a journey. Just like the Knight of Wands is on a journey and taking you on a journey, she is on a journey. We also get the Six of Cups. Look at that. You got 2 sixes right next to each other. The Six of Cups is a nostalgia card. It's about remembering better times, often times that are in our childhood. The Six of Cups is coming up to ask you, have you been blue? What is it that you need to feel that feeling? You see, she's having a little tea party. There's joy and there's fondness in this card, but it is a fondness that we're reflecting on. It's asking us, how do we bring this energy into our now, into our present? And then you get Death. The Death card is a transformation card. It means that whatever was dragging you down is about to be transformed. In this particular deck, you'll see that the Death card is actually a gorgeous phoenix rising. The phoenix dies, turns to ashes, and is born again from the flames of creativity and renewal. Something is about to be utterly renewed in your life for the better. Pile number 1, good luck on your journey. This has been amazing. Do let me know in the comment section below what is going on in your life. Did this resonate? And come back with any type of advice for how you followed things through. All right, thank you so much, my pile number 1s. Okay, pile number 2. My amethyst babies. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. So, I'm going to read everything facing towards me. Move these cards here. What do we have? The Fool. The Hermit. So interesting. Okay, here we go. So, the Fool, a leap of faith is being called for. Something entirely new is about to come into your life, and you are wanting this change, but you're a little afraid of this change. What you're afraid of is here in the Hermit. The Hermit is the blockage. The Hermit is going within. It's about learning. It's about knowledge, seeking to increase your skills. This is a card of the traveler who's not afraid to be alone. The traveler who holds his lamp high, the only illumination that he needs. The Hermit is someone who does shadow work. They explore their subconscious. They are interested in gaining knowledge, often esoteric. This is a person seeking a teacher. However, this energy is blocking the energy of the Fool. The Fool is about taking that leap of faith, and the Hermit is about continuing to seek out people to teach you. The Fool is saying you don't need any more teachers. You have all the knowledge that you need right here. You've done the work because the Hermit is here. In fact, you've done so much work. You are way more prepared than you believe you are. On your mind is the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is like the strike of fire that forges a sword. This is saying there's a spark of action and a spark of creativity, and you are being encouraged to take action on that now, because the Ace of Wands is fire energy and it wants to create. It has long-term plans. It's excitement. This is renewal. The Wands often deal with our social activities and with our workplace. So this could be a new job that you're starting. It could also be a new relationship that you're embarking on. Relationships are any type of exchange we have with people. It could be personal, it could be romantic, it could be friendship, it could be business, it could be familial. What it means is that this idea you have is being called to spark forward. On your subconscious, we have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is often known as a marriage card. It denotes unions and stability. In this particular card, there's a couple cheersing and holding their hand together. So it could be that whatever your stability currently is part of the reason that you are hesitating on taking this action. Perhaps it's going to throw off the stability that you already know and recognize and are familiar with, something you're comfortable with. The Four of Wands is an excellent card. It's not something to be feared or worried, but it does denote a need for progression. This is the beginning of something new, and this is the beginning of something new. The One and the Four. But in the Four, it's grounded. In the One, it is just beginning, just like the Fool as he takes that leap of faith. So, in the past, you have an element card. This is the element of water. Your emotions are really what is behind you right now. Perhaps it was your emotions that drove you into a state of hermitage. That's often the case for people. We are overwhelmed with our feelings, and so we go. But we're being called back to ourselves. And in your immediate future, we get here the Six of Cups. Now, the Six of Cups, we actually had the Six of Cups in the other deck as well. The Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia. It's a card of remembering better times, times that often are in our childhood and behind us. So the Six of Cups is asking, where did your passion go? Are you feeling a little bitter these days? It's time to find something that fulfills you. It's time to reignite this joy and bring it into your present, because this time has passed already. And it's wonderful that you can feel the fondness of this time, but it's also important that you bring it into the now. And that's what your Fool is asking you to do. Your Fool is saying, I have faith in myself. I have faith in new beginnings. I have everything I need to jump forward and do something new. Will you trust me? Okay. Very interesting. Let's see what the Mermaid Oracles have to say. I've pulled the Mermaid Oracles to reflect on our emotional state, so let's go. We have sacrifice. There are those worth making, and there are those that will destroy you. And then we have fertility, potential, powerful creative energy, and initiation energy. Wow. Also, look at that. You have a lot of purple in this reading, and this is the amethyst reading. I love when those things happen. Okay, I'm going to read to you the meanings of these cards. Let's go. Sacrifice. We know that in the world of the air, there is often a need to choose between what is wanted now and what is the best to wait for. And in your language, this sometimes means sacrifice. We have heard the stories you have told each other, and the deities of the land and the sky have done this. In the ocean, there have been great sacrifices too. The whales sometimes have beached themselves to feed their communities of people, your ancestors. They are more evolved, and they know that at times the individual lifetime is not as sacred as the soul's evolution. In your world, there is the tale of the great deity of the masculine power, Odin, the father god of your Nordic peoples, and how he drank from a pool of wisdom, water, the wisdom bringer, and then hung on the ash tree, Yggdrasil, for 9 nights, returning to the world without one eye, but with knowledge. We have heard from the Vikings that he did not regret his sacrifice, that he knew that to gain the knowledge, something had to be given up. You have heard of the goddesses of the people of the far north of the Americas, as you call them, the Inuits, and their goddess, Sedna, whose father cut her fingers from her hands to stop her clinging to the side of his boat. Some say this was a sacrifice, but this was not her choice. And so we wonder why you sometimes let people steal from you and claim it to be a sacrifice. In your tale about us, the Little Mermaid, it is said she chooses to give up her voice and her ability to swim, and even walks with great pain, just to have the love of a human man. This is a sacrifice, but she gave up what was sacred, herself, and in the end is neither mermaid or woman, not loved or with kin. She is alone, as sea foam. So when you choose to sacrifice something, ask yourself, what is it for? Is it sacred? Do you want someone to do something in return? Or is it because there is an outcome that is better, truly better, than the perceived loss? Be wise in your sacrifices. Make them and choose. Else it is nothing but manipulation and robbery. Your divination. You may be contemplating doing something that is a hardship or giving up something that is precious to you in order to demonstrate how important a third option is to you. Remember to make the choice to sacrifice, and that by doing so you have made what has been offered up holy and made more sacred the goal you are questing for. Make your sacrifices wise ones, and be sure to decide whether the sacrifice is the best path. Sometimes people make what they think are sacrifices because they feel others will view them in a certain way. And by doing so, they can become martyrs and wish only to be viewed as good. Remove this from your thinking. See whether you truly wish one thing or another. And then when you make the choice and it is freely given, then you have truly made something sacred. The whole process has become divine in its nature, and the reward is in the space and clearing you have created, into which the great good can be poured. You will be blessed, for you have blessed the world with your offering. Wow. So this card, the sacrifice card, is asking you to recognize the truth about sacrifice. There's a lot of emotion attached to the idea of sacrifice, that we have to sacrifice to be good people, that we have to give up things we want for other people. But it is important to recognize whether we make these sacrifices because we truly believe we need to give one thing up to have another, or if we truly believe we have to give up what we actually want because someone else doesn't want us to have it, because us having it hurts someone else by their own perception. Sacrifice is deeply misunderstood, and before you make yours, you must deeply consider your options, your motivations, and your desired outcome. Okay, let's move on to fertility. Card number 8. By the way, let me put the card here. I hope you don't mind that I'm reading them to you. I just feel the words are so beautiful, I couldn't possibly change them. Fertility. There she blows. We mermaids are creatures who bring you now a powerful force. The power to create, begin, initiate, and grow. Some call it fertility, and they consider it to be only to do with the act of conception. You are now a fertile being, a being who is ready and has all the energy and richness and goodness needed to bring forth a great project. This is the moment of decision for you. Will you use this great power and seek out what it is you need to seed your own fertile waters? We mermaids say that it may be time that you have all that is needed, desired to richly provide life to creations, ideas, people, dreams. It is now time for you to decide how this will be worked with, used, and explored. You are a fertile, enriching being, and new life and growth is ready to spring from your mind, your emotions, your body, and your soul. Here we are. Your divination. This is a time for the conception and growth of a new project. A time to get ready, to prepare. May literally mean that it is time to conceive and grow a new life in the world. Taking herbal supplements and changing diet and lifestyle so that new projects have the healthiest possible beginnings. Initiating projects in the spirit of goodwill with positivity and enrichment. No longer being neglectful of the self. Yes, you must nurture yourself to ever truly nurture anything and anyone else. Bliss, saturation, abundance. You are in a place of great potential. It is essential for you to ride this energy and deepen your roots and sow your seeds at this moment. Do not let this fertile time come to nothing. Sow the seed of ideas, of dreams, and action them out into the world, into reality. The mermaids know you are the right one to bring this idea or being or project through. You have been gifted a time of great potential, the perfect conditions. You must do your very best to ensure success. The seed is in your hand. Let it fall to the ripe, good earth and let your soul grow what it was born to create. Wow, guys, let's just review, shall we? Let's. Your first card was the Fool. The Fool is saying, take a leap of faith. On your mind is this action step that you must take. And considering that you have sacrifice and fertility here, I will say this is a marriage. This is absolutely a marriage. Perhaps your marriage will change once this step is taken, but your change, that could be considered the sacrifice, is going to lead to this incredible fertility. Could quite possibly mean that there is a new life coming in. It could be a baby. It could be a new job. It could be a new place to live, or a new source of abundance for your marriage. But you must take that leap of faith. No more research. You have all of the knowledge. All of the knowledge. Take that action step, because it is leading to something or someone wonderful. And with this nostalgia card here, right under it, you might be remembering your own childhood and comparing that to a childhood that's about to occur. But you mustn't compare the two, because your childhood has brought you exactly where you're meant to be. And where you're meant to be is to give birth to this new thing, this new time, this new being. Wow, very exciting, very marvelous. Okay, so I'm gonna pull just a couple more cards. This is gonna be your outcome cards. If you take these action steps, if you take this leap of faith, ooh, we've got a jumper. Then what do the cards want you to know? All right, this is the one that jumped. The Eight of Pentacles. This is about working hard to create your desired outcome. Pentacles are also long-term energy, so this is about slow and steady wins the race. Also, I mean, I love that this is a spider working on her web, because spiders work so diligently and create these marvelous webs, and then they have to undo them and start all over again. So this is about cycles, eights. Think of the figure eight. Think of the infinity sign. Don't stress that you constantly seem to be doing the same thing over and over again. What you are actually doing is sowing the seeds of creation to ensure that you have the skills you need and you have the returns for your hard work. So that's excellent. Then we have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is a card of burden, but it's also a card of burdens being lifted. The Ten of Wands is the final number in the wand deck, and you have the 1 and you have the 4 here. So the 10 is a summation. This is the conclusion of whatever it was that made you feel like you really had to put yourself out there. If you look at this specific card, you'll see there's a gorgeous tree maiden, maybe it's a dryad even, and she's holding this world all on her back. She is the strong support system that keeps this thriving city alive. So it could be help is coming in now. This doesn't have to be done alone. And now we have the moon reversed. Very interesting. The moon reversed is a card of intense anxieties. Intense, like to the point where you absolutely should consider talking to a professional. This could be mental health issues. This could be anxiety and feeling like people are against you. This could be your own fears and worries about why you shouldn't take this leap of faith. And you're being asked to address this. The moon reversed is saying you do not have all the information that you need, to take caution in what it is you do, and to be aware of your reactions, because your reactions are not to the actual situation. It seems that you're responding to your own inner fears and what you believe the purpose of this situation actually is. This could also be an imbalance in your sexuality. It could be either that your sexual desires are taking over your day-to-day life, or it could be a fear that you're never going to achieve your sexual desires. But the moon reversed is deeply important to pay attention to, especially when your primary message is to consider and debate what your sacrifices need to be, if they need to be, and the significance of what you are being called. Let me say that again. Called to create. So, Your stone was amethyst. Amethyst is a sobriety stone. In ancient Greece, they believed that wearing the amethyst would ward off drunkenness. The amethyst stone actually is from a lore. Again, in ancient Greece, the god Dionysus was in love with a woman named Amethystis, and she was not in love with him because he was a party god. He was not her choice. And so she ran from him, and she ran and she prayed to the gods that she be saved from the god Dionysus, and the only way they could save her was turning her into a stone, a white stone. And it said that when Dionysus found her, he cried tears of wine because that was the only thing in his system, and that the wine stained the stone purple. And that is why it's worn to ward off drunkenness. But I want to remind you that drunkenness is not exclusively from alcohol. We can become drunk on power. We can become drunk on fear. We can become drunk on ideas of grandeur. And the amethyst is asking you to be aware of your imbalance, to be aware of what this moon reversed is telling you about, to be aware of what is no longer serving you and what is to be given up, so that you can have this in its entirety. Okay, pile number 2. That was an intense reading. You let me know how this plays out for you. Did this card reading resonate? Let me know in the comments section below, and good luck on your journey. Pile number 3. Hello, my pile number 3s. If you chose the rose carved rose quartz, this is your reading. So let's move the mermaids here for now. Let's see. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay, pile number 3. Let's see what we have going on here. The High Priest is the card that is sort of your goal or aspiration. The High Priest, also known as the Hierophant, this is a card of tradition, so upholding traditional values. I mean, just think about traditions that one has at Christmas time, one has in their society, whether it's your idea of gender norms or who should be the breadwinner in your relationship. The High Priest always deals in what is the traditional value, and that is what's on your mind. How can I uphold the traditions that were instilled in me? How can I uphold traditions that are important to me? And now what's blocking that is the Three of Cups. And that's so interesting because the Three of Cups is a party card. It's almost as though you have an ideal of traditions that you want to uphold, but you can't stop partying. You can't stop partying. The Three of Cups is a celebration card, in fact. It's a good card to have. It's not a bad thing to party. The Three of Cups is coming together with friends and loved ones in celebrating each other and in celebrating what makes us unique, special, divine, and loved. So perhaps it is what you celebrate that is in conflict with what you think is traditional. And I can see that this deeply worries you. In fact, it could be that what you celebrate is against your traditions. Here we have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is known as a fantasies card. The Seven of Cups is saying that we have so many options, but we must choose one or we will lose ourselves and we will lose our chance at those other desires. You see, in each of the cups, there's something. There's a dragon, there's a castle, there's a laurel crown of victory. But this person can't choose. This person is falling into the cup of their emotions. They are getting so lost and overwhelmed that they've chosen not to move. Subconsciously, this is making you suffer immensely. The Ten of Swords is also known as a deep betrayal. Perhaps it is you who is betraying yourself, or perhaps you feel betrayed by the people that you trusted or the people that you celebrated with. Perhaps there's a part of you that is in a schism with what your traditions are and what you actually value and celebrate. This is difficult because they're both parts of you. Neither is right or wrong, but they are absolutely tearing you apart right now, and you must explore both those aspects. Now, you have swords in your past and in your present. In the past, you have the Ace of Swords, which tells me this was the beginning of a new idea or new troubles and worries, new problems even. Think of Excalibur. This is a sword waiting to be pulled out of this stone bridge. There's a crescent moon here. Is it waxing? Is it waning? We are here to determine that together. Is this the closing out of an old painful cycle, or was this the beginning? Because now we have the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Swords is a card of ultimate anxieties. This is when your thoughts and ideas and beliefs have become so painful, so utterly true to you that they are ruining your life because you believe them. Now, it's important to recognize that our thoughts and beliefs, while true to ourselves, may not be necessarily true. When the Nine of Swords comes up, you are being called to ask, do I want to keep believing these things that are making me suffer? Because they are swords. That means they're all in your head. Look at this skull. Look at the way that it is exploding into the air. And no matter how she thinks and hopes and prays, her head is bent. Her reflection is murky. She's being stabbed on all levels, but she's not. She's not actually being stabbed. The Ten of Swords, he's stabbed everywhere. The Nine of Swords, they hover around her. And that's because these are not real. These are beliefs that make us suffer, but they are not real. And you really are being called to recognize, what is it? What are those traditional values that are making you hate yourself so much? Self-loathing, it comes up a lot in the Nine of Swords. Self-loathing perhaps for not being what you were taught to be, for not growing into who you thought was acceptable. But who you're celebrating is who you are. And who you're celebrating must become loved. So let's look into your oracle cards. These are the Mermaid oracles, here to reflect our emotional states. Here you have the Mirror, know thyself, self-examination and seeing who you really are. And Divination, prophecy, fate, destiny, future, fortune. So I'm going to read the deeper meaning behind these cards. They're very lovely. I love sharing them with you. Card number 21, the Mirror. I'm gonna put it here so that you can gaze upon the card. The mermaids sing, water is a great mirror, and the darker it is, the clearer the reflections of the world around it will be. And so it is with life. The clear mirror we can look into will show us who we appear to be. But the dark mirror, metaphorically, is when life or the sea or our feelings become darker, more complex, sad, thoughtful, deep, and at times very painful. But it is at these times that we can see who we truly are. For under duress, our true character can be observed. And sometimes we do not always like the truth of what we see in this dark mirror. But the mermaid can help us with this, as she holds up a mirror, but a magical one, that not only shows us our appearance, it shows all of ourselves, our sweetness, our hurts, and our scars. In it we may see what is hidden to the eye of the body, but known to the eyes of the soul. In dreams, these mirrors may appear, and in emotional times when we realize that we are still hurting or have wounds we have sought to cover up. There is no need to cover up or camouflage in this beautiful mirror, nor is it right to judge the scars and woundings, or the beauty and the glory. They simply are, and by seeing clearly, especially in the dark mirror of the Great Mother Ocean, we can see who we are. While we swim in clear waters, we can see the light and the positive. But when we swim in dark waters, we can truthfully see so much of who we are and make changes, adaptations, or come to accept the truth of who we are without seeking to adjust. We come to self-love, self-knowledge, and self-healing. So your divination. It is time to gently yet firmly see the truth about who you are, and to understand that who you are is not ugly or lacking, but a truthful, beautiful, wonder-laden voyage into the soul. It is time to be shown what the eye cannot always see, but what the spirit has sensed. This may come through observations, loving words from friends who are truly able to see you, from a stranger who notices something that too many overlook, or it can come in a moment when you glimpse who you have become. Dreams, visions, and flashes of intuition are also the mirrors that work with us at this time. Mirrors and who you appear to be will be coming up for you. Be sure to embrace the mirror and the magical mermaid's tools as an ally, and wonders and healing will unfold. Wow, that in correlation to exactly what the cards were saying before. It seems that your perception of yourself is what is causing this intense suffering. And the mirrors are going to show up in people that are surrounding you. Do you like this person? Why or why not? Do you not like this person? Why or why not? And it's even more important to recognize those qualities, because we tend to dislike and disown in other people what we dislike and disown in ourselves. So let's see what divination has to say. Divination. The mermaids, surrounded as they are by the mirror of the ocean, you can't make this up, guys, and living reflection of the past, present, and future, are among the greatest of seers. Water, as demonstrated in the experiments by Dr. Emoto, holds and carries the vibrations of all that is gone, and can hold all that will be. Water is healing, and holds solutions that help us flow to a better place. There is no ending that the water can show us, only the myriad possibilities. Water in some places is already holding the vibrational possibilities of the future. And we mermaids have been gifted the ability to read these and train daughter after daughter in the art of seership, oracling, and oceanmancy. They have kept this truth about their abilities silent for many thousands of years, as they are already coveted for their beauty, harvested for their sexuality, controlled in so many ways. If so many came to know of their talent for prophecy, who could resist the lure to keep one captive and demand to know their fate, or what to do, or how to overcome their enemies? Your divination says, but you, the mermaids, have come via this card and say to you that you too have the gift of seeing the possibilities, of knowing and feeling out the fate. And they know that as a fellow mer-being, one who has been born of the great sea mother, you too can work with the gift of seeing in many directions at once. It is as if you can stare into water and see ripples of what could be. The mermaids are oracles, sibyls of the sea, and you too have the power to connect with the divine. And this power can be activated as you teach yourself the wisdom of the sea. There must be discipline and purpose to your movement. Instruction is coming, and they will deliver it through dreams, visions. There will be signs, there will be omens, and the symbols will come to you. You will dream. And while these dreams may be cryptic, or a vision may seem to be unrelated to what is currently taking place, the universe and the ocean of consciousness and possibilities is calling to you to listen and to hear and read the signs. Become aware and hear them whisper on the shoreline of consciousness. Learn to read an oracle like this one. Work with spreads for focus and discipline, and conduct readings for friends. You have a gift. It is time to train and then to exercise it with responsibility and beauty. Wow, it would seem that whatever's making you suffer is your medicine, and you must learn to embrace this part of you to really own the power that is deep within you. Deep. Okay, we're going to close out this reading by pulling some final cards. Cards on the... Oh, okay. There we go. We got 2 that jumped. Cards that are the outcome. The outcome of when you take this advice. So let's see. We have here the 4 of Swords reversed. The 4 of Swords is usually a card of needing to rest, needing to take the time, the mental ability to just relax. Then you have the 2 of Cups reversed and the 10 of Pentacles. Very interesting. So when the 4 of Swords is reversed, I would say that you are not allowing yourself to rest. It could even be that maybe you are done resting and you're ready to take action. It's very interesting to see it next to this 2 of Cups reverse. It's almost as though the reason you can't relax is you feel you've lost the thing that matters to you most, because the 2 of Cups is a divine connection. It's a union card. It's 2 beautiful souls finding each other. And when the 2 of Cups is reversed, it's saying this might not have been what it appeared to be. It could be that the 2 of Cups you thought you saw was actually a lesson for you to understand the deeper meaning behind connection and to really explore why this relationship isn't working out the way you planned. It could be the reason that you're feeling so frenzied and like you can't relax because you know something is not right. The 2 of Cups is only ever reversed when it's begging you to take a closer look at what is off in your connection and be honest about it and be brave enough to take the next steps. And then you get the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles is the ultimate card in survival, monetary wealth. The 10 of Pentacles comes to you when you have accomplished a great feat. You've done it. You worked hard. You're in a place of wealth and abundance now. So it signifies the best possible outcome of the situation. The 10 of Pentacles speaks of lasting, hard-earned success and a happy and stable home life. So once you address these things that I would say are causing the ultimate pain and suffering, you are going to find yourself more accomplished than you could possibly have imagined. Now, the rose quartz is the ultimate heart chakra stone. It's also a stone of romance, but people get that confused. The stone of romance means that it finds what connects us to the nearest human. And in fact, sometimes rose quartz can be so reckless that you ought to wear it with amethyst, because amethyst will temper rose quartz. But beyond that, this is a stone of healing and friendship. Rose quartz is here for your heart and for your lungs. Use rose quartz when you have to ask for help, breathing in life, taking up space. You have the right to these things. You have the right to be loved, and you have the right to love yourself. So good luck on your journey, my pile number 3s. I can see you have some difficult choices to make, but that you are brave enough to reflect, to go within, to learn to use your natural innate abilities for the highest good. And when you do so, you will find the greatest sense of fulfillment that you could have asked for. So thank you for coming to this reading today. I've been your host, Danielle Hernandez. I do personal readings as well. Feel free to reach out, give me a shout out, an email, a comment. I do personal readings for half an hour or an hour, and you can find the details in the comment section below. But until next time, goodbye, guys.